What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again, and I'm here today to bring you a Bleach tag. I got tagged by GreenOokami quite a way back, so I'm really sorry about that, man, but I'm going to get into it now. And basically, he tagged me to answer a couple of questions again, and they're pretty good questions this time, actually. I can have solid answers for all of them, I think. So yeah, thanks a lot for the tag, man, and let's begin. So the first question is, who is your favourite character? And for me, for a very long time now, it's been Aizen. Okay, everyone out there who hates Aizen, retaliate if you wish, but Aizen has been my favourite character for a very long time. The reason is just because if you watch my ranking of my top 10 characters, you'll see why. But just going into it quickly here, I just love, he's got a great design. All layers of it. His Shinigami good guy self, his evil self, and I even like it as he goes into kind of insanity in Deicide. I still like how he's played out, and how even now that he's been imprisoned, he's gone back to his kind of cocky evil self. So I love that about Aizen, and I just love Aizen in general. I love his Zanpakuto. I love the way he fucks with the mind of Hitsugaya, who is one of my least favourite characters. And one of the things I really like about him is his grand speeches, his ideologies, and I also really like how he kind of turns any kind of question on its head and makes it really unnecessarily complicated. So, for example, I mean, can you imagine having a conversation with this guy? When Shinji says, when did you start using Kyokusui-Getsu? Aizen could have just gone, oh, at the beginning of the fight. But no, it's Aizen, so he has to go, when? What an amusing question. Let me ask you this. And that leads to one of my favourite Aizen moments of all time, when he gets the really evil, shadowy face, and he's like, when do you think I wasn't using Kyokusui-Getsu? It's like, oh, what? This guy, he's a troll, but I love him for it. The second question is, what is your favourite arc? Someone actually asked me to rank the arcs. I actually have done that. It was my second ever video discussion, but I'm going to do it again more comprehensively pretty soon, actually. As I request, because obviously we're further into the 1,000-Year Blood War arc now. But my favourite arc is probably the 1,000-Year Blood War, just because it's badass. I'm not going to go into that question much because I have got this video coming later on. But yeah, it's definitely Millennium Blood War, as it should be called. What is your favourite fight? That is hard. That is really hard. I mean, I'm probably going to do a ranking video on fights as well. I'm pretty sure that was requested at one point, and even if it wasn't, I'm going to do it anyway. Well, that is really difficult. I mean, obviously you've got your staples, Ichigo versus Byakuya, Ichigo versus Ulquiorra, Ichigo versus Grimjo, I suppose. Lots of people like that. The initial Ichigo versus Renji is cool. I was never a massive fan of Ichigo versus Kenpachi. I kind of thought it was a bit overhyped, personally. But that's because I find Kenpachi quite boring, just because most of his fights just involve slashing, and I like a bit of magic involved in the battles. I think it makes it more interesting. Most of the fights in Fate Karakura were probably, looking back, a bit of a disappointment, purely because they were pretty one-sided for the most part. I'll tell you what was a neat fight, actually. It's nowhere near my top one, because it's like a chapter long. But Love and Rose versus Stark, that was awesome. Lots of magic in that. Lots of like proper clashing, like Tengumaru smashing into Stark. Him doing Love doing his massive Hifuki no Kazuchi attack, the massive fire. Rose's awesome Zanpakuto in general. And then Stark summoning the Wolf Army. Actually, it was about 2 chapters long, wasn't it? Yeah, because he summons the Wolf Army. That's a great fight. Not my favourite, but it's really cool. Really nicely drawn, that fight. But I don't know, really. Favourite fight, that is very, very difficult. I liked Ichigo versus Aizen, but I felt it should have been longer. I'm probably going to have to plump with Ichigo versus Byakuya for the time being, but I will make a video, and I'll think about it a bit better then. Favourite opening, so anime opening. I don't know if this means the song or the video or altogether. I'll roll with altogether. For me, difficult again, but it's probably opening 9, Veronica, the one where if you can't remember, it's the one where you see kind of the captains are like in colour still, and they kind of move like that, and then you get this really awesome picture of Aizen. Yeah, you just look it up, just type in opening 9 Bleach Veronica. It might not be on here, of course, because they might have copyrighted it and all that rubbish, but Yeah, no, that's probably my favourite opening. Obviously, 13 is great as well. Rambo no Melody, the one during Aizen's final battle. Filler openings, I quite like them. Not the Bout one. I like 8, Chubara, which was the filler opening for the Kasumi OG arc, which is a shite arc, but the opening was cool. And 14, Blue Vivid was a great opening as well, which is the one for the Ray Guy arc. That was really good. And 11 for the Zanpakuto arc. So I like most of the anime only arcs. You know what I mean? 3's got a great opening. 2's got a great opening. I like 3. 3's got such a cool video. 3, when, you know, that bit with Shinsui no Kitake, when Shinsui does this little thing in the, all the leaves are everywhere. So awesome. That's so cool. 6 is cool. There's got a lot of good openings in Bleach. I had a long period of liking opening 7, After Dark, as like that was my favourite forever. But, yeah, no, Bleach has got a lot of good openings, actually. A lot of really good openings. It's got a lot of, well, it's got a couple of crap ones as well. Like, 10. Shoujo, whatever it's called, with really weird Rukia and Orihime dancing, and that's just strange. What other ones are crap? 12's got a good video. The song kind of annoyed me after a while, but the video was really what I was hoping for. That was Change, I think, the one where you see like the Espada versus the captains. That was exactly the video I was hoping for. So yeah, my favourite is probably 9, because it's just cool. Whose Bankai are you looking forward to seeing the most? Probably Shinsui, because he's my favourite captain. I'd also say Aizen, but I'm just not certain we'll get it. I'm certain we will get pretty much everyone else's. Because, frankly, my logic there is if Kubo can think of something for Yama, he can think of something for anyone. I think we'll get everyone's pretty much. Aizen's the only wild card, but I really hope we'll get his as well. Shinsui, though, I just want to see what Kubo does. If you check out my DeviantArt page, I've basically done my own version of Shinsui's Bankai. I don't think it'll be anything like it, personally, but yeah, Shinsui's Bankai, Urahara, just so many Bankais. The Royal Guard, I want to see their Shikai course first. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Rose and Shinji, we've got their Bankais to see. So yeah, really excited, actually. But Shinsui definitely the most, because he's my favourite captain, and he has my favourite Zanpakuto, so, you know. Aizen or Juha? Ooh, okay. This is a good question, it's a good question. It's been a question that's been thrown around a lot, actually, since this arc began. I prefer Aizen as a character, okay? But as a main villain for the series, I think I prefer Juha. The reason being, he's just tied into the series far better than Aizen was. So far, Aizen is literally just some random Shinigami who came out of nowhere, has immense amounts of power and hates the world. Okay, great, that's cool. Juha, man, King of the Quincy's, the first Quincy. He even has this awesome backstory chant song thing where he's like legendary and he'll break out one day and all this of his seal. You know, he looks awesome. He's kind of like the Yamamoto or even the Spirit King of the Quincy. Just that whole chapter when we found out, like, from Ishin that Juha was the #1 Quincy, the father of them all. So great, so great. And I love the kind of metaphor he uses when he calls people his son. That is so cool, because I love the idea of this kind of father villain, a bit like FMA, Fullmetal Alchemist. I love it. It's so awesome. The way he's like to Uryu, he's like, fight alongside us, my son. And, you know, he's not actually his son technically, but technically he is, kind of. And I love him. I think Juha has just a brilliant, brilliant design. Another integration, he killed, obviously, indirectly killed Masaki and Katagiri, and is also Zangetsu. I just think Kubo has really planned this character out. You can clearly imagine that some time ago Kubo was like, I want the Quincy to be evil, and I want this guy to be leading it, and it's going to be like this, and like this. I can't wait to see him fight properly, but he just has such an immense presence every time he's there. You know, he's a scene stealer. Easy, he's a scene stealer. He looks so awesome. You know, he's pulling off some badass mutton chops. So yeah, for villain, it's definitely Juha for me, and he's so cool. And just the Vandenreich in general are awesome. Favourite line or quote? That is hard. That is hard. I like lots of them. Some of them really kind of stuck with me just because I thought they were awesome. There's lots of Aizen's quotes. For some reason, Tsukishima's "I've seen your Bankai so many times it's starting to bore me" really stuck with me, because I thought that was a great kind of turning point for that battle. But I think my number one line has got to be Aizen's kind of "I will stand in heaven." I mean, at that moment I was like, wow, this guy is so awesome. And he does the whole hair thing, he breaks his glasses, and he's like, "I will stand in heaven." Some translations properly mess it up. They're like, "I will stand at the top," or something lame like that. But yeah, his whole throne of heaven vacancy seat, that quote is wickedly cool. And the way he's ascending as he says it, brilliant stuff. Favourite Bleach soundtrack? Interesting. Does that mean just song in general, or like CD? I'm gonna go with song in general, I suppose. It's actually probably Quincy Craft. If any of you listen to it, if you haven't, look it up on YouTube. It's just an awesome theme. It's meticulous, it's calculating, it's cold. Basically everything all the Quincy are. It's a really, really cool theme, and you go and have a look at it. It's just great. If you see the certain video, I actually commented on it, and it's got quite a few thumbs up. So yeah, it's a really great song actually. Obviously, I also quite like Ichigo's number one theme. It's kind of one of those songs where you kind of think, do I actually like this song? But yeah, I mean, like when he's hurtling towards Ulquiorra's tower, and then Rudobone gets in his way, and it's playing, and it's like, fuck yeah. I still think it should have been playing when he got his powers back against Ginjo. Chokaku played, which is also very high up there. It's kind of the metal version of number one. But I kind of think it should have played then. But yeah, great stuff. I mean, you can just... Well, I would say you can imagine number one playing when Ichigo breaks out of the sky during the Stomato invasion. But it's almost kind of too dark a moment for it to really be playing, because obviously Yama's just died. I kind of think... just that music playing in the background as Ichigo jumps out would kind of be unfitting. I mean, Akon goes down at the same time, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. I kind of think it's possibly more likely to play when Ichigo gets his true Zanpakuto. You can just imagine it kind of, when he goes out of his inner world and just kind of grabs his blade and all the flames go everywhere. You can just imagine the whole number one going, and then he stands there and Oetsu's like, "Have a look at your Zanpakutos," and Ichigo's like, yeah, you can just imagine it. How you got into Bleach? Well, this is kind of awkward. It was actually quite a long time ago. It was an ex-girlfriend of mine got me into Bleach, really. And I've just been hooked ever since, to be honest. Definitely the best thing I took out of that. But, yeah, I started reading Bleach during the Noitra Kenpachi fight, I believe. Well, it was around there, so it's quite a long time, because I started and I watched it, and I'm pretty sure they only had dub up to a certain point, and I was like, okay, let's go sub. And sub was up to the Rukia Araniro fight, and I was like, there has to be more than this. It can't just stop here. I can't have to wait every week for this. And they had manga, and I was like, whoa. And from then on, I just read it. And obviously, I have watched them all as well, but from then on, I was hooked. So yeah, I read everything from the Araniro fight up to the Noitra fight. I think that's what it was. And then it was weekly from there on out. And obviously went back and read the rest of it. So yeah, why do I love Bleach? The characters, pretty much. The characters, the art style is great, but just the characters are so varied. They're so cool in design, and they just have great personalities, and their stories are really interesting to me. Obviously, I love the stylized kind of action. I love the big swords. I love the magic. I love the spells. I love the explosions. But Bleach is really kind of traditional. Like it's, at least to start with, it's a save the princess story, and now it's a save the world story, and it's full of cliches. But I really like that. I mean, it's not a difficult read, but I take English literature at uni, so difficult reads are kind of, well, they're kind of my bag, really. And it's like I like to unwind and get a cool chapter of Bleach a week, just because I love it and I love the characters, and I care about the characters. Like when I thought Byakuya was dead, I was like, Jesus Christ. I kind of wish he'd stayed dead, but that's a different matter entirely. So yeah, that's kind of it, really. So thanks a lot for this tag, GreenOokami. I'm going to leave the questions in the comment in the description box below, guys. So Answer them if you want in the comments below, but don't forget to subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later. Until then, see ya.